Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Big Jew from Brooklyn, aka Joe Carter, back again with Carter Chronicles. I'm here today with a new guest. This is Paper Posh,
the musical artist.
the musical artist. Okay, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I would like to say that I am a person who is an artist. I do lifestyle, fashion, and entertainment. I'm also a vlogger. I'm into athleticism and I do a little bit of acting. And I actually just wrote an imaginary script.
Wow. Wow, that sounds great. So you're gonna chill with me in Carter Chronicles today?
Yes, I am.
I got some topics I want to talk about.
Yes.
All right, so I just want to get your input on them and we can discuss. Okay, so hold up, what do you got here? So, everybody's talking about it. The rap beef, Drake and Kendrick. Okay, so I mean, look, we don't have to discuss who's winning, right? But the main thing I want to bring up is the use of the AI to mimic Tupac's voice, right? So there's been a lot of talk about that. I want to know your standpoint.
Well, I just recently dabbled in AI myself. And what I noticed is that AI is something that a lot of people use. The music industry is working on regulating it. I just went to a meeting with ASCAP and the president of ASCAP and all of them over there, and they was talking about AI. I just want to say I like Drake, I like Kendrick, and I think that artists should be able to use whatever tools they need to express themselves. But I also get that, people may feel away. And I feel that as long as it's labeled AI and you know that it's not music, that it shouldn't.
Right. The thing is, when he used Tupac's voice, everybody could clearly tell that was Drake rapping the lyrics, right? You could tell it was Drake. The way, the flow, everything was Drake. It was just that he was using the AI voice. But, he had to take that down, right?
Of course, I heard that it was from Tupac's estate, quote unquote. The people who own the rights to his estate, they felt away because they felt it was disrespecting to use him in a beef.
Right. Sorry. So that's an icon. He's an icon in this, especially in the hip hop community, in that culture. He's an icon. So, and then he's not here. So you didn't feel, it didn't bother you that he was like using this guy for some rap beef.
No,
using his voice.
Because I feel that in art, it's like being a painter. Use the tools that are developed to create your palette. And like I said, as long as it's listed as being AI and you're not saying that you actually did a song with Pop or took his lyrics from an old verse, then I feel it's fine. It's nothing wrong with using AI. Like I said, I recently used AI. I did a song with Drake, Savage 21, Rihanna, using AI.
Wow.
They have a Jay-Z AI. They have a Beyonce AI. Like when you use these, I don't know if you've ever used it, but I have. When you use these softwares, it gives you an option literally to change whatever you spit in the studio into another person's voice. So it's like a filter to a degree when you're editing as a feature. So I think Drake was just having fun. I'm not agreeing to the beef in itself against Kendrick Lamar because he could have used AI just for one of his songs in general. It didn't have to be a beef song, but I feel that the overall artistic side of it was pretty cool because it's art. The beef part, I don't agree with, but the fact that he used Tupac as a part of his art, to me, is pretty cool.
I mean, cause initially I was like, oh, wow, this is like, it was very strategic. I saw that, right? And you're going to use Tupac's voice. But when people started to talk about it and I started to hear about how like, cause I have a different, Tupac is not one of my favorite rappers per se. No, I'm I'm Brooklyn. I'm Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying?
You like Big Papa.
I'm Big Papa. I'm Big Papa. So I'm Jay-Z. So, but no disrespect to Tupac. I love Tupac, but he's not my favorite. So him using Tupac's voice, like, okay, I see what you was doing there. But thinking about how people view Tupac outside of myself,
I know.
Like he's held in a high regard. That's like if you use Malcolm X's voice. Yes. Like, what are you doing for a rap beef?
If it was a Mount Rushmore, Tupac's head would be on the Mount Rushmore of rap.
Right. That's facts.
If they developed one.
Right. So because he's an icon, I felt like it was a little disrespectful because you're using the icon for something so insignificant. Like if you're going to do Tupac's voice, do something like, what's happening to our culture? Why are you people out here beefing when there's more? Cause that's what Tupac was about.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? But Right. So let's move on. Let's move on. That one got deep, right?
All eyes on me.
Right. So okay. So all right. So now we've been talking about that. Again, Tupac is an icon.
Okay.
Do the hip hop artists of today respect the old school? Do they pay homage to their ancestors?
This is what I'm gonna say. I noticed that some of them do, some of them don't. So, like example, shout out to the Girl Code. Because they're two sisters that I met in Coney Island at an old school hip hop concert.
Right.
So their concept was, I met them at Coney Island at a throwback concert, and it was like all these old school rappers there, and I see the Girl Code, who are rappers of now. So what I'm gonna say is, there's some artists that respect older artists, but then some of them have no respect. Like, they just don't care. And a lot of the records that are hits are the same songs that they did. They just remake it and change the drum pattern, because I'm a producer as well. So when I hear certain beats, I'm like, they took that from that song. I remember that song from back in the day. And a lot of kids don't care because they just want to do drill rap or whatever's out right now over the beat and don't care. So I think it's like half and half, where you do have half of the industry. Like I said, I met Girl Code at an old school hip hop concert.
Shout out to Girl Code. And yo, they did a remake of Big L song. And that was fire.
And why? Because those are two young ladies that understand the culture.
Yes, they
as to where I'm not going to mention another group that I met that has no respect for older rappers. And no offense, they're older than Girl Code. But I'm going to leave that alone because I don't want to be, spilling the tea on this show. But, you know, that's my opinion. So I think half and half. I think half of the artists have respect, half of them don't.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think, like, cause I just saw an interview, like, Big Daddy Kane and Ghostface Killer together, chopping it up and talking about stuff. And it was like, Ghostface is paying that respect to Kane and everything. And it was real nice. And then, like, again, Girl Code, shout out to Girl Code.
Yes,
they from Brooklyn and they represent very well.
I like Girl Code.
They definitely do pay homage. They're hip hoppers. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're young. So definitely shout out to them. So you're right about that. So hold up.
Yeah.
Let's get into something else. I like your points. All right.
I like your show.
Thank you. Okay. So, I don't know if you saw the Pharrell Forbes interview. It was like, I think last year. Okay. It was 2023 interview.
Okay.
And he talks, he's asking him about like what's next and how does he feel about, like the progress that we're making in this country. And he was talking about how black people need to galvanize. That we need to start sharing the codes with each other. You know what I'm saying? And working more in unity for ourselves. Cause he's like, when election time comes, no matter what happens, if we care for each other, then we have a better chance of survival as a culture. So how do you feel about that?
I agree with Pharrell, and shout out to what he's doing with Louis Vuitton. I like Rihanna's new ad. I like LeBron James.
Yes.
I like the fact that he's adding, different faces as models for Louis Vuitton.
Color.
And I think that that's what he's experiencing working with Louis Vuitton, and maybe this is coming from that, because being in the fashion industry, you have to be open-minded to everything. So I totally agree with Pharrell. I like everything that he's doing right now. Opening it up for other people. I don't want to say black people, but let's just say other
He's
people.
Supporting the culture. He's supporting, it's important to put that out there. He's supporting the culture. He's in a high position where he can do whatever he wants, and he's choosing to support the culture. Same thing with Jay-Z, Beyonce. They got just so much position, but they still bring it back and they bring their people in.
Well, what I want to say about Jay-Z is I recently went to a youth summit that was sponsored by Rock Nation at the Javits Center.
Nice.
And I literally met 200 people and organizations throughout the city that advocate for the youth and social justice. So you're right. They are giving back to the community.
Yes.
And not only just the community, to the youth, which is the future of the community.
Amen.
So shout out to the social justice event that they have annually at the Javits Center starting last year. I couldn't believe that event was that big. I was walking around the event. Fat Joe was there. He was a guest speaker.
Right.
They had a couple of other people there, but when I was there, the day that I attended, because it was actually, I think, for 2 days, the day that I attended, Fat Joe was there, and it was really cool. So shout out to all those people giving back to the community.
Right. And on top of that, like, they don't do that kind of stuff for publicity. And I had a conversation with somebody about that before, because they're like, oh, Jay-Z don't do nothing. This and that. I said, he doesn't do anything that he
has
promotes.
a soup kitchen that's around the corner.
Exactly. So all people know about is the Rock Nation brunch, right? But nobody knows about all the other stuff, the humanitarian work that's done, because he's not doing it.
Okay, wait a second.
To get recognition.
You put me on because I didn't know about the Rock Nation brunch. I know about the philanthropy. So my energy
Rock Nation
on
brunch is like very popular.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But the point is, I know about the philanthropy side. So I'm aware of the soup kitchen. I'm aware of the social justice and the organizations for the youth and a whole bunch of other things that are going on too. And by the way, shout out to people like Jadakiss too, because he gives back to the community as well.
So that just us into the next thing I want to talk about, which is the amount of humility that people have on the way up. And even sometimes the humility on the way down. Because sometimes people, when they're on the rise and they're trying to excel, they're like, get out of my way. And they want to, be the top, right? And then when it's time to fall, they're looking for people to help them. Hey.
But you didn't help anyone.
Exactly. So, but then there are people that do support people, and they tend not to fall. Or fall too far because someone, so what's your take on it before I go into my rant?
My take on that is what I was taught from the people that were around me and my family, not literally the industry, but like literally my blood, my family, was that when you get something, you give a little bit to everybody in your family. So if something happened, you could say, hey, remember when I had all of that? You got something of that? Can I get some? So the concept of that is I get it in the industry. And a good friend of mine told me, cream will always rise to the top. And this is something I learned from the industry. So meaning you gotta make sure that for it to rise to the top, that you do what you gotta do on the bottom. So you're right. You can't be mean to people. And if you are mean to people, because sometimes in life you have to make decisions because of your circumstance. Make sure that you correct yourself in that situation and tell them, well, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I was in a position where my lights was about to go out and I had to work in the White House for Donald Trump. I didn't want to be a Republican. I really wanted to work with Barack, but I got a mortgage. I got 2 kids. And Donald Trump called me and asked me if I wanted to be Condoleezza Rice, who in my mind is what's that lady's name that was on the show with him? And she wrote the book. She was on Beautiful Sister. Omarosa. Omarosa, no offense. If you read that book, she really didn't want to be a part of that. But she did what she had to do to get where she had to get politically with her career. Because when she went on Wendy Williams, shout out to Wendy Williams. When she went on Wendy Williams, she let it be known. I did what I had to do for a check, y'all. Like, this was not about me being a Republican. I'm not even a political party. I worked, but she knew when she went in the basement, it was over for her because that was his thing at that time, taking people into the basement and firing them. So the point is, in life, sometimes you may have to make a decision because you got to do what you got to do. But I believe that if you come back and let that person know, listen.
Taking accountability.
I did it because I had no choice.
I own that. I made my mistake.
You get what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I feel you.
But a person who just lives with no remorse and doesn't have any feeling at all with the remorse, that to me is scary.
Right.
You know, because I know in life sometimes you have to do things, or sometimes a person is not. You're not mature. Like the way that I thought when I was a kid is not the way I think now. So sometimes people just,
and everybody grows at their own pace.
Exactly.
So it doesn't, after like 5, everyone grows at a different pace. They, so different levels of your personality are mature at different paces. So, it's possible that you're like, I didn't really see the light back then, but that you still got to eat it. Like that's where accountability comes in, because if you make mistakes and hey, you did it, what you thought was right at the time, but whatever consequences come from those decisions you make, you got to own those up. That's the reality of it. You got to own it.
So that's how I feel.
I like that. I like that. Listen, you're giving it to me. All right.
Right. You telling me I'm about to put your shades on in your interview in a minute. Shades. I'm about to put your stuff up.
All right. So the last thing I want to talk about, I don't know if we're going to have time, is survivor's remorse.
How do I look, by the way?
They look great. They look great. They don't take them with you.
Oh no, I'm not taking them. I'm just pimping them for the interview. It's a part of his set.
I really love those shades. I was gonna put them on, but this is all
you snooze,
good.
You lose.
It's all good.
You snooze, you lose.
All right, so we short on time. So all right. So success, and when you have success and the people around you aren't at the same level, do you start to feel bad and try to bring everybody up? Because that sometimes could become an anchor.
This is what I feel.
You've got mail.
You've got mail, and that's what it's about. In life, I may get the mail, you may not get the mail, and after this, I may go check my mail. But I'm just playing. I feel that when you're around people, and I used to work for this gentleman, and shout out to Sycamore. He used to be an A&R at a label in the city. You know Sycamore? You probably don't know him, but a long time ago, I used to work for this guy named Sycamore, and he basically taught me. He was like, yo, you can't ever downgrade anybody. Everybody has a position. So basically, this is what happens with circles. You may come up with people that are smart and that are cool and that have good ideas, but they may not be business savvy. So your circle, like in the famous words of Jay, I ain't a B, but I gotta divorce them. Sometimes you gotta get them papers and serve them up. Ain't no prenups involved when things are moving fast and the money's coming in. So you're around people and you have to kind of treat them like a family and develop them. And sometimes people don't evolve. But what you do is you don't ever forget about those people because one day they may evolve. One day they may mature and one day they may grow. You still find something for them to do. That's why they have A-list celebrities, B-list celebrities, and C-list celebrities. I'm scared to see who the D-list is, but the point is,
what's her name? Kathy Griffin? She's like on the D-list.
Kathy Griffin is not on the D-list. She at one point was an A-list celebrity, but we'll talk about that on another show. The point of the situation is, when you are evolving, don't ever forget who you evolved with. But remember, sometimes you may have to give them a break. A lot of people I know in life, I didn't understand why they separated themselves from me, but then years later they came back and was like, now you're ready. Because I wasn't ready. I didn't see what they saw at that time. They were in a different place mentally, physically, spiritually, or may have had different experience that I had on the job, meaning in the game, and saw a thing that I didn't see. When you first get in this industry, you're like, I want to be like whoever's the hottest person. I want to be like them. I want this. I want that. But you don't know what that person went through.
Amen.
You don't know where they came from. You don't know how much drugs they sold, how much they sold. You don't know what they did.
How much of they sold they gave away.
Exactly. You don't know where they are in life. And then what I also found out in the industry is that you don't know whose family. This person's cousin could have been this person or that person or this person, and you mad because every day they see this person. You can't get upset because that's that person's daughter. Right. So like example, somebody like North or a Blue Ivy, you can't get mad because Jay-Z and Beyonce is Blue Ivy's mother. Blue Ivy's gonna get stuff y'all ain't gonna get.
That's a fact.
So in the industry, people get upset because of who you know. I remember at one point when I was a kid, if you were a Jackson, that was it. Like, it was like, all you gotta do is be a Jackson and you on. Like, you get what I'm saying? It could be Rebe Jackson, it could be this Jackson, it could be that Jackson.
I think that's kind of still true.
Like, but what I'm saying
if you know LaToya, you know Randy.
The industry is like that to where,
you know,
like,
Michael's nephew, you still
or
live.
not even a Jackson, a Braxton. I'm one of Tony Braxton's sister. I'm Sanaya Braxton. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, in the industry, it's like, you could be down with the person or associate with a person, and that can help you get on.
That's true. It happens all the time.
Some people are down with gangs. Some people are Bloods and Crips. And that's how they get on. Real.
And that's how they get on.
You get what I'm saying? And because they're that gang member, they might get on because they know somebody else that's in a gang. So in this industry, you don't know what a person went through. So just be humble and be yourself.
Amen.
And if somebody's mean to you, don't take it personal, because remember, everybody got bills to pay.
Amen.
Everybody got a wife or a husband at home. Maybe that person really like you and they fronting for their wife or they fronting for their husband. You don't know what's going on in people's minds. Maybe they're a switch hitter the way this industry is going now with everything that's going on. So girls, don't even worry about them wanting you. They really don't even like girl. Like, you get it? So you don't know what's going on in a person's mind. So be yourself, be humble. And if you made a mistake admit it to yourself,
take accountability,
and let it go.
Amen.
Because everybody's not perfect. I've done things that I'm ashamed of myself, but I realized that it helped me build my character and it made me who I am today. So I'm not ashamed. And then it helps me learn more. And not to bring up another show on your show, because your show is a good show. So
let's not do that then. Big G from Brooklyn, Carter Chronicles. We're back again. We're going to wrap this one up. I'm going to let you know right now, we're going to do more guests. We're going to keep bringing it back. Love you.
Thank you, Mr. Carter.
You're welcome.